Hi everyone, this is Katie Farrell, the Human Potential Coach, and I wanted to bring you something today to actually share some details of the Reconnection Retreat. So something I'm very excited about holding later on this year. I wanted to share the details with you all and to also introduce you to the lovely Tessa Rohrig, who's going to be our yoga facilitator at the retreat. So welcome, Tessa.
Thank you very much, Katie. It's really nice to actually to chat with you again. Really exciting.
It
And
is, isn't
to
it?
be part of this amazing retreat.
Oh, thank you. Yeah, so and it's lovely. It's a real privilege for me in particular to be able to invite you as a facilitator on the retreat, because obviously that's where I met you first of all, was on your yoga retreat, wasn't it, back last year?
Absolutely. Yeah, that was so lovely. Yeah, you came to my retreat and we just clicked, and you also discovered this magical venue, La Cura. And yeah, that's where all the inspiration came from, right?
Absolutely. So for anyone who doesn't know, retreats have always been a desire of mine, and I've been on a few myself, and I know how much we can get from them as individuals when we take ourselves away from the norm, the everyday routines, and all the roles and responsibilities, we get, especially as women, get caught up in, and it's very hard to sometimes just take that step back, isn't it, and get some time for ourselves to, as I want people to do on this retreat, the ladies that come, to actually just get some relaxation, a chance to reset mind, body and soul. But also the main thing for me, and this is not just in the retreat, it's about life in general really for me, is reconnecting with who we are as women at a soul level, mind, body, emotions, because they are all so important and so interdependent on each other, aren't they? They all interlink. Everything about who we are, systems, hormones that drive us, sometimes drive us bonkers.
Absolutely. I mean, the beauty of retreats, and I've been teaching retreats for many years, it's just when you enter a retreat, it's really, you enter this really beautiful, nurturing, and it's a beautiful environment where you can just soften. And especially for women, we need to soften because we're feminine, and doesn't mean we're weak or anything like that, but we need to soften. We need to connect with what it's like being a woman. And when you enter these beautiful retreats, and of course, retreats are suitable for men as well, but obviously our retreat will be about, of course, celebrating being a woman, but also connecting with being, this beautiful feminine body, right? And in body and mind and spirit. But when you enter this retreat, it's all about you. It's literally all about you. You're going to be literally being taken care of, being looked after. And at the same time, you have the freedom, the choice just to remain also anonymous, or you want to be a bit more private, or you want to be a bit on your own. You can do literally whatever you want. And it's really about you. It's self-care. It's an absolute treat for us as facilitators, but also for the person who goes on a retreat. And I can't even explain how, when you enter a retreat venue, and especially La Cura, how you just feel this softness, this support, this nurturing environment. It just, something happens. You completely, as soon as you step through the doors and you enter these amazing rooms, it's literally taking all your backpack, you're taking everything, all the heaviness off you. And that's where your journey begins, of just to connect, just be who you would like to be and who you truly are, right? It's absolutely so many times. It's really, really special to see.
And that's a really good way of describing it, because I can just imagine being back there again, as we were last year at yours. And as you say, just the moment you get into even just the countryside that surrounds La Cura, its own, the acreage, the farmland that it's sat on, you just feel any sort of tensions or stresses or anything you might be, as you say, carrying with you in a sort of, metaphorical backpack to actually just ease off, doesn't it? And it is such a beautiful retreat. I mean, you bring your own special beauty and experience to it as well. But just even, as you say, just the venue itself, it's I think you said earlier, understated luxury. And
it's an understated luxury. And because we know, or I know the background of how this also started, it is truly done with such great care and passion, and it reflects through everything in the venue, from just all the design, the decor, the paying attention to detail, to of course the wonderful chef we'll have who creates these most amazing meals for us. Everything is done with pure love, and I think all the other retreats who've been there before us, they all had this, they're also carefully selected, and they all have brought their own beautiful energies. And no, it's just, I can't, you have to simply experience it. And I've been there many times, and I just got back from teaching my retreat there. It's, you just really don't really want to leave. And when I teach retreats, I really would like the women, are we going to have just women? I really would like the women just to really surrender. And when they feel ready, connect with whatever they need to connect with. You can't force it. It takes a few days, usually a day or 1.5 days, just to, because we're not used to actually all of a sudden have all the time for yourself.
Yeah.
And to
and that
express
support.
who you want to be.
Yeah.
That's really, really magical. So so it's exciting. It's so
exciting.
We know what it's like, right?
And that's why I think, isn't it? Because as soon as we start thinking about it, we're like, we're there, and we can feel it all again. And the energy, and as you know, I work a lot with energy, and for me that was key, because even though I didn't come on your retreat looking for a retreat venue, that was, it was just time for me, and that was absolutely what I needed last year. And but it was just feeling the energy of the building itself, which has been designed by a female architect. So I love, it really fits in with my whole ethos about how I work energetically, and really connecting with not only your own energy, but feeling what's going on around you, and helping you to sort of read energy and feel the impact it's having on you, and whether that's, a nice feeling or a not so nice feeling. When you can really understand yourself at that, soul energetic level, just makes life so much easier. And you just feel, you said magic, didn't you? The magic, when you enter it, you can just feel everything going, and I can
exactly. It's a sense. It's going to be a sensory experience. And when I bring it back to how I teach yoga in general, but especially when we have not really, of course, we have scheduled classes, right? But we're not really on a schedule. If we're running a bit late, or we're short, or whatever it is, we don't have to run off to somewhere.
No.
We can just truly take our time. We can leave the studio whenever we like. It's our place for 5 days. It's true magic. And with the yoga practice, it's also yoga. Yes, yoga can be very physical, but actually yoga should be felt. And we have now time, when we do our classes, to truly feel the yoga. You go at your own pace, you go at your own level. If there is any level, it doesn't even exist. However, you just have to really try to feel the practice. And that's what makes a yoga practice very magical. And there is no right or wrong way. And what I would like from when I teach yoga practice is, to connect with the postures, but also how they make you feel. And there is no right or wrong way of feeling. And it's often done, yoga now in the modern world is quite dynamic. It's quite strong. It's quite, not all of it, but quite fitnessy. But I would love for students to experience a yoga practice and tailor it to their own needs, their own body, and how it feels, but also soften a little bit, because we are women. We are strong in many ways, but we have our feminine, as for the lack of a better word, power, right?
Yes, absolutely.
But it's important to tap into that, because in this modern day and age, we're expected to be so many people, and we're expected to be these tough, strong women. But we are women, and women are naturally, that we have our own unique strength. So I think we should maintain and remain feminine. And we have this most incredible, unique body. First of all, it's special, it's unique, it can do amazing things. We are very differently designed. Our physiology, our emotions, our spirit is completely different. And that should be embraced. And I think in this modern world, it's almost like we cannot be feminine anymore.
No.
Not as much as we should be, in order to stay balanced and in harmony with ourselves, right?
Yeah. So I think there's been so much for a number of years, probably even decades, where women have been made to feel like we have to do things in the way that men do things,
Exactly.
you know,
Yeah.
to whether it's to compete or, you know, to make our own voices heard. But actually, as you say, our strength is our femininity, our female energy. As for men, it's their male energy, and
Absolutely.
both are beautiful and right for each person, aren't they?
Absolutely. And even in the yoga world, it's some practices are very masculine. They're actually quite strong, and that may be good for maybe a shorter period of time or not as often, but it's quite masculine, and it's not actually always designed for the female body. And I think what I would like to offer in the yoga we're going to do on your retreat is, yes, we can definitely, in the morning, for example, we do more dynamic classes, because it's the start of the day, it's the young part of the day. We need to wake up, we need to energize the body, but it doesn't have to be done hard. It can be done very subtle, very beautifully, and also very important, tailored to the unique individual, to the unique woman. Every woman, yeah, we have our similarities as being a woman, but our bodies are so uniquely designed. And I think that is often also forgotten, right? We maybe look kind of similar on the outside. We have arms and legs and a head, and your internal organs are probably like the same, but we are very, very unique in anatomy. You know, ranging from the bone structure, ranging from all your experiences. So the yoga cannot be the same. And I really would love for our students to really start connecting with the uniqueness of themselves.
Yeah.
And knowing where their limitations are, know where their personal strength is, know where they need to soften in order to create harmony in the body. It's all about harmony.
Yeah.
And that was what it is. And then in the evening, we're taking them to a journey where we can surrender and let go, because it's the evening part. And the evening is more yin, and yin means feminine. Yin also means softening. So we're going to finish the day beautifully in a more softer, nourishing, and restful way, so we can enter our sleep more peacefully. So, you know, so we have to go through our cycles, just like we go through cycles all the time. We need to go with the cycles of nature and the cycles of our own bodies. But how do we do that if we're always focusing on external? You know, we're always focusing on the external world, what we need to do, where we need to go, what is shown on Instagram or what is on the social media, what we should eat, what we should drink, how we should move, without actually checking in. Okay, hang on a minute. What do I need?
Yeah.
What does my body need? And those retreats are so useful, because you are connecting with yourself and you're disconnecting for a couple of days with all the other influences, and which have huge benefits. They're wonderful. But again, it's a question of balance, you know.
Absolutely.
And that's important.
Yeah, it really is, isn't it? And even on that point about you being us all being individuals, even each day, you know, you may be able to do something more easily one day, and that be a bit more challenged the next day, but something else will be easier and softer. And it's just allowing, as you say, isn't it? It's recognizing and getting to reconnect and really understand your own body again, and how it feels, how it changes.
Absolutely. And I think also, I always like to explain in the classes I teach, and I can go very anatomical, I can go very, very scientific, but the body is changing every day on a more like anatomical level. Cellular wise, we're completely changing. We have different experience all the time. Your hormones are changing throughout the day. Yes. So our postures, our yoga can actually never be the same. And I think we as some of the clients or yogis, we sometimes think when people practicing yoga that all the postures, you should get better at it, or you should be doing it the same as last time. It doesn't work like that. It really doesn't work like that. But where you can find a very harmonious practice, if you start to connect with what your body needs and is able to do at that particular point in time. So, because there's something we say in yoga is sthira and sukha, and steadiness and ease. So in every yoga practice, we should find steadiness and ease. Doesn't mean it's easy, because you're going to feel resistance. Maybe one day you're very tired. Maybe you feel a bit emotional. So the practice might not be easy, but we should not struggle in yoga. If we notice that we're going over our edges, or where it brings us out of balance, we need to retreat. So, and that actually is what the body thrives on, is this balance. And as I say, as we say in yin yoga practice, where I'm specialized in, is like, it's all about Goldilocks. Not too much, not too little. It's just right. Yeah. So, and it can fluctuate sometimes. So I always say to students, find Goldilocks, find just the just right feeling. It's not 100% perfect, but it just feels right.
Yeah, I love
And
that.
that you can bring it into everything, right? It's Goldilocks.
Yeah, absolutely. Apply it to life. Definitely.
Absolutely.
And what I really loved about being in your classes on the retreat was absolutely, as you say, it's very much tailored to for the individual to go at their own pace. They're, you know, as you call it, finding your own edges. And I seem to remember I had an injury with my hip, didn't I?
Yeah,
At
I
the
remember
time,
that. Yeah.
just before the retreat. And again, I was very much able to, you know, you were very accommodating and helped me to adapt where need be. And I never felt any pressure at all to do something that didn't feel right, or, you know, whether it was to do with the hip or anything, because I've been doing yoga for a couple of years, probably quite a few years now, but not necessarily a dedicated daily practice. But, you know, we change, don't we? And things happen. I was injured.
Yeah.
But just knowing that you can, whatever level you are, because I remember there are some ladies there, I think that a couple of them are your students at your studio. They were doing headstands at one point outside of the class, but, you know, others were almost beginners. And I loved how everybody, I could tell, just felt really included and part of it from the word go. It was lovely.
Yeah, and you know, and that is really important. So my classes are, I believe in foundation. I believe that we should keep it real, we should keep it simple. Doesn't mean, again, it cannot be challenging. If students, for example, like to explore a deeper variation, for especially when it comes to headstands or handstands or something a bit stronger, which is wonderful if they want to explore that, but I take them on a one-to-one basis.
Yes.
You know, then we just explore that for the individual. So, I mean, at the retreat, I'm really there to assist the students or in their journey into yoga practice, and how it's a physical practice, but also how, when you start tuning in with actually how the postures make you feel, that it becomes a bit of a magic, right? So, and actually how you can make certain shapes with the body, how it also affects your emotions. But we hold the postures maybe a bit longer, or we just explore them a little bit longer rather than going quickly through the motions, because it's really a feeling practice. We don't do yoga, we feel yoga. And that is actually eventually what the practice eventually is all about. You know, you need to get the techniques, you know, okay, you need to kind of know what the downward dog is or how to place your feet. And these alignment cues are just there for safety, to make sure that your body is safe. It's supported, it's safe. And by the end of the day, it's only safe if it feels safe to you.
Yeah.
And that is very important.
Yeah,
so,
great point.
Yeah, and you asked me, what are we going to do with the class? Now, the classes are very much designed around, of course, softening into even stronger postures, into difficult situations, and that's surrendering into it by honoring the female body, by honoring the female energy as well, but also connecting what it's like being a woman, you know, and that is something like, I often have students like lie down and just ask them, what is it like being a woman? Just take a moment to reflect on it. What does it mean to you being a woman? How would you like to move being as a woman? Without any judgment, there's nobody there to judge you. There's no, and because we're all there kind of sort of for the same reason, right? To connect. And, and that is, and you can really see the people feel almost like what I always see when I see the students coming into retreats, but even in the studio, they exhale. They can finally take a long exhale.
Yeah.
It's like, okay, I can just be me now.
Yeah, just let go of anything else and just, as you say, be you, and enjoy the exploration. Because I think, especially when we get to a certain age, we've probably not done that for a little while, have we? You know, we've not taken the time to really think about who we are, how we feel in the body, as you said, but what we want from ourselves. You know, what do we want our bodies to enable us to do, and you know, how to really not just connect, but really understand
the body, and also embracing femininity. Like, okay, first of all, the shape of the body, you know, we're very different shape than a male, obviously, and how actually beautiful the female body is designed. It's really beautiful. Also embracing the fluctuations of our life, right? How we start, and whether it's from like when you're a young girl, you're entering your period, and then you're going through your whole menstrual cycles, for most of your life, and then you enter the menopause. These are beautiful stages in your life, and I'm going to share a little bit about the importance of that, but actually how it should be embraced, and how we are almost like we have to hide all these different phases in our life. We should be embarrassed about it, or it's seen as a nuisance or anything like that. While I will give a bit of a scientific background why it's so important to go through that, and why it's so natural to feel what we're feeling even throughout a day, and also throughout our entire life, where it's so completely natural. And if we fight it, suppress it, then it's actually, we're going against our being a woman. And if we go with the flow of it, we're entering a stage of acceptance. And that is such a liberating place to be. And we do that with movement. We do it with, of course, your amazing work. We even do it with food. We even do it with like just gathering, or even just sitting like on the pool loungers and just truly enjoying taking in what is it like just being this woman, right? We need to pause. We need to pause, because you're a mother too. You're a business owner as well. You have 100,000 things to do all the time. And sometimes we just forget that we're actually women too. Right? And I also would like to share during my teachings and the things we can do in our lives outside of the retreat is what we can do with connecting being a woman. Not only a mother, not only a wife or a partner to somebody, or a business owner, but actually the importance of actually making time being a woman, no matter what stage you're in your life. And the simple techniques and simple things you can do for yourself to actually connect with that again. And that makes life just a bit softer, a bit more feminine. Yeah. And that's who we are, right? We can't change that. So, absolutely. And that's it.
And I know you alluded there to some of the work that I do, which I'll be sharing more details about. But what I really love and wanted to pick up on the point that you made is my ethos for this retreat is that it's going to be something that you can absolutely come onto and just disconnect the outside world, as you say, really connect with yourself as a woman, but also not just have sometimes I've been on retreats before where it's lovely, it's a getaway from everything. Absolutely. And you have a lovely time on it, but then you go back and life is still the same once you get back, and you kind of just get caught up in the hamster wheel of life again. But actually, as you just said there about sharing things with the ladies who come on the retreat that they can take back into their lives, still to embrace the femininity, who they are outside of the retreat, so back in the normal world. And that's really what I want this all to be about. There'll be things that I'll be sharing as we go through, some energy healing sessions, the energetics, coaching, that isn't just about being on a lovely retreat, having a lovely time, and then coming back to the real world, with a bump. We want that to be things that you can really take away with you and embrace and start to incorporate into whatever life is like back home, and start to make those changes to maintain that.
And that's why also retreats are wonderful. It just gives you a bit of inspiration sometimes. More than you can maybe read in a book or social media or a friend tells you. You actually truly experience it. And what I've always see on the retreats, when we end the retreat, people are inspired. And you know what inspiration brings? It brings a sense of joy. It brings a sense of like hope, right? You feel excited again. If you were a little bit like felt a bit low or a little bit in a rut, these retreats can inspire you again. And what's I think we should mention, Katie, is also like that we're not so different from everybody else.
No.
We women have so many things in common. We want to share, we would like to talk about, we're maybe embarrassed about. And then when you start talking with each other, especially on these retreats, you have so much in common. Same fear, same worries, whether it's like something about your own body or something in a relationship setting, or maybe in your work, you realize, oh my goodness, I'm not the only one. Right. And it gives a sense of like almost like a tribe feeling, right? You feel like sisterhood.
Absolutely. Yeah. And it's I'm getting, all the sort of memories and feelings of knowing what Lakura is like, and the things that we will be doing that I've got planned within the retreat. But as you said, whether it's on the sun lounges around the pool during the day, over breakfast, lunch or dinner, you know, that we have all together, all around the fire pit, you know, in the evenings in the courtyard. And I think that's such a special place to be as well.
Absolutely.
It's having those shared experiences, the commonalities of things that we can go, it's not just me, you know, other people feel it too.
Exactly. And also I think it's my personal experience, but also my opinion is also, it's like, my view is like, we women actually need each other. You know, we actually need having female companionship, female energy around us. Friendships are very important for women, you know, and I think because we're so busy living our lives, we actually kind of sometimes forget that. And I think we as women should support each other. We should lift each other up. You know, we should give each other compliments, you know, and that is also very important. And that is, again, one of the great things you can do, especially like a women's only retreat, is like you're tapping in at a beautiful female friendship. And that is, for us women, almost like priceless. We kind of need that as well. And I see sometimes a beautiful friendship blossoming from teaching yoga in general in my studio. There's some wonderful friendships, like really incredible. They become best of friends. And even women who never had time to have female friend because they have a job in a very masculine environment, and they connect with a perfect stranger in a yoga studio, and you know, they connect. And also after retreats, they connect with each other. And it's almost like we probably, Katie, we're just going to be looking at all these wonderful women connecting with each other, and probably don't even need us anymore. We're probably going to sit in the back.
But it's such a lovely space, safe space for that to happen as well. It's, you know, it's very much, as you mentioned earlier, it's a nurturing space. It's open. You can be as join in with people and connect with people. You can have time away. There's plenty of spaces. So not only will every lady have their own beautiful magical room, ensuite bedrooms that are so beautifully, not only in their design, but the materials, everything that's used, the views that they have out the windows, the ensuite bathrooms. It's just a beautiful space, but also other rooms within the venue itself, with the space in the garden, different courtyards, the farmlands and countryside to walk around. So there's really something for everyone, however you're feeling in the moment, on the day. You know, it's really there for you to get from the retreat what you as an individual need, isn't it? And
absolutely. And of course, I understand if you've never been on a retreat before, maybe you feel a bit apprehensive. Oh my goodness, I don't know all these people. I can totally understand that. And that is, but I cannot even express and explain. When you enter this retreat place, it's very private. It's your home for 5 days. It's really your home, and everybody is very welcoming, giving you enough space and distance you need. We're all very intuitive, and I've noticed that with all the retreats there, with all the staff that works there as well, whether the lovely ladies who look after the property, to the beautiful chef who of course takes care of us for our beautiful food, to everybody around there, the gardeners. It's almost like they're not there, but they're there if you need them. And it just flows really nicely. And that is, and you know, and I also would like to share with, of course, all the people who go on the retreat, is also like, even though I'm the instructor and you are the facilitator as well, we are also exactly like all the other women. You know, we're exactly. I just happen to teach the yoga class, right? And that is also important to know, that you know, it is not teacher focused. It's not, you know, we are facilitating, and of course you guiding your beautiful students through your sessions, but it's all about them. It's truly about them. As I always say in the class, you're the most important person in this room. And that's honestly, and I truly mean that, because that is, and you need to be that. And you know, and if you don't see yourself like that, now this is then the time to actually really like tap into that one. And you have the permission, and you don't need permission. You just can do it, right? So and that is maybe in the beginning a little bit, oh my goodness, is it all about me? I said, yep, it's all about you. You know, and
that's so true, because as much as it's a shared experience with the other ladies, it's very much, as you say, about the individual, what each person needs. And it's probably a good point to make in terms of the sessions. You know, the yoga, it's there for for the ladies to do morning and evening. It's also optional, you know, if there are days where you need a lie-in, or
Absolutely.
you know, but they can also wanted to get you to share your lovely sort of bonus treat for the ladies, that you know, they can have some one-on-one time with you.
So basically, I'm teaching the morning and the evening classes, and ad hoc we can create workshops. That is not a problem at all, because I have a couple in mind if we choose to do that, if we can fit it all in. Let's say if students don't feel like doing a yoga class, they would love to stay in these wonderful rooms. And believe me, I had students who didn't want to leave the room. So I was competing with the bedrooms. So that is absolutely fine, because sometimes, because you're going through this new experience, you do yoga and you have your energy healing, you have all this wonderful nutritious food, you're in the countryside, fresh air, it can actually make you tired. Sometimes you notice how, and I've seen it always with the students, they're so extremely tired. And, you know, once you feel like out of your state of fight and flight and being active and stressed, actually a sign of exhaustion is that you actually, that sign is actually not bad, is actually that you'd finally feel safe.
Yeah, to let go and
to let go, and that
relax.
comes with exhaustion. So absolutely. So if, say, you can't make it, I am there dabbling around all day long in my yoga gear. And if students, if they want to have a one-to-one session with me, or they want to explore a certain posture, or they want to have a chat about whatever, it's yoga or anything they would like to share with me, I'm there. And so we can do that. If you miss a class and you say, oh, can we maybe do it after breakfast or something like that, then I say, okay, let's squeeze it in. So fantastic. I am honestly, I'm really there to support the women. And yeah, a one-to-one session is absolutely available, and that is not a problem at all. And I actually encourage that.
Yeah, no, me too. And that's great. Thank you, Tessa. I really appreciate that.
No problem.
And also, if any of the ladies, whether it's considering the retreat or even once they've booked on, knowing they absolutely want to come and it's exactly right for them, you also give them the opportunity to have a chat with you before the retreat, please. Aren't you? Just absolutely. In case if anyone's got any questions, or if you're not sure whether you know, what level the yoga is going to be, or if you've got any concerns with physical challenges, whatever it might be.
Absolutely. And the more information I have, I'm really there. They can call me before the retreat, or a Zoom or WhatsApp, whatever we can do nowadays.
Yeah.
You know, that's absolutely not a problem at all. And I actually encourage that as well, because, you know, I'm completely new to them. And for me, the more information I have about our students, our beautiful women, the more I can tailor the classes. But it's sometimes nice just to have a quick chat, feel a bit more familiar with the instructor. Because of course, when I go on my retreats, mainly these are my yoga students who come to the studio, so they are kind of sort of familiar with me. But honestly, Katie, I really, if there's a request and students, they want to talk to me before or meet me quickly, not a problem at all. We have all the Zoom and WhatsApp and video, whatever we'll have to connect. So yeah, I'm really, really there for them. There's not a problem at all.
That's great. Perfect. Thank you, Tessa. And yeah, as you say, we really encourage ladies to take that up. And you mentioned that you know, you have your own studio and classes and retreats that you host regularly anyway. So it's probably a good time for you to just give us some background into who Tessa is, and you know, your own yoga journey.
I was always in the hotel industry. I was an event planner for many years. I lived abroad since I was 17, and I was never really into yoga, to be really honest. I was a dancer, and
another thing we connected on. Our ballet backgrounds.
Yeah, exactly. So I was a dancer, and I worked for all the big hotels creating amazing events, and I was a runner, and everything was very fast paced. Lived in New York for a while, and then I happened to literally run into a yoga studio, and it was hot yoga, Bikram's yoga, and it was very popular at the time, many moons ago. And I was just inspired by actually my teacher, my first teacher. I didn't really care so much for the yoga, I just loved her. So I followed her because I was inspired by her energy, and honestly, because she was this very beautiful, incredible woman, beauty inside and out. There was something about her. Once I got to know her, I realized how many different challenges she had in life, and you could never see that from the outside, but there was something so amazing about her. To make a long story short, I became a Bikram teacher over 20 years ago. taught for Bikram Chowdhury, which is the hot yoga, many years, and it was quite a hard yoga, and but I absolutely fell in love with it. Gave up my job for the hotels, and then I traveled all around the world, Vietnam and Singapore, where I did hot yoga, but then also I started to really get into the more yin side of yoga, which was yin yoga. Same, because I had no choice. My body was actually really tired. It was depleted. I traveled a lot, did lots of yoga, continued dancing. So my body was actually saying, nope, this can't do it anymore. Yeah. And then this yin yoga came in my life, and it completely transformed the way I practice, the way I actually started to approach life. So yeah, so that is actually now over 20 years ago. I have a small studio here locally in Buckinghamshire, and I specialize in small group classes, mainly in yin yoga, but also in very traditional classic yoga, moving slowly, moving intuitively, but also enjoy your practice, have a little bit of fun with it too. Sometimes yoga is very serious, you know? And it shouldn't be.
No, it won't be with us.
Just enjoy yourself, right? Just have a really wonderful time, and you know, and laugh, and also laugh at yourself, right? It's also fine. So yeah, and I do lots of workshops, and I do my own retreats. Yeah, I just love being and inspiring people, and just share this magic of this yoga, but also of all the other modalities that come with this whole, yeah, let's call it holistic world, right? It's fascinating. Yes. Yeah. And you don't have to understand it. You don't have to maybe embrace it straight away. But just have a little peek and see if it works. Yeah. And if it doesn't, it doesn't. And that's also okay. But enjoy this journey a little bit. And that's what I also would like to share with the students. Like, enjoy this journey. There's nothing to master. There's nothing to fix. There's nothing really, there's no goal. It's just like, just really enjoy just each time you roll your mat out. Yeah. And yeah, sometimes there are great classes. Sometimes you say, oh, the yoga felt great. And then sometimes the yoga didn't feel so good. And that is also okay. That's, that's practice, right? So,
absolutely. And it's recognizing what you need. That's seeing those differences is helping you to tune into your body, who you are, isn't it? And what you need in the moment.
Absolutely. And you know what? And it's, of course, the yoga world has exploded. It's great that there is so much yoga. Absolutely. So, and it's about connecting with yourself. And if you find a lovely teacher you connect with, you know, just learn from each other. And yeah, I very much love what I do, but it's actually not so much, of course, I love the yoga, but what makes it special is like meeting people like you, meeting lovely students, new women every day, but also just to I don't know, inspire them a little bit.
Yes.
Which is really lovely. But I get a lot of support. You know, my biggest teachers are actually the students.
Yeah.
They live my spirit, right? So it's not a one-way thing. It's actually when I see these wonderful students, for example, Lakura, when we're practicing and I teach the class and then they're in Shavasana or relaxation pose, I sometimes take a moment and just to really sit there, how lucky I am to be with these wonderful people in this incredible environment, sharing what I love the most with this yoga practice. And so it really sometimes very emotional for me, especially towards the end of the retreat where we're saying goodbye, where we're also crying. You know, it's like always happens, you know, even though like, no, not going to happen this year. Yes, it does. And because it's just so pure and simple. And at the end of the day, it's relationships. It's just connecting with other human beings. And that's what we need a little bit, right?
Yeah,
absolutely. So it's also very nourishing for myself.
Oh, I love that. And it sounds like the absolutely perfect point to leave it on, and to you know, just to really encourage people, other women who are listening to this and thinking that sounds exactly what I need right now, to reach out, have a chat with either of us, you know, about the retreat, the yoga, and we'll make sure that your details are on below the video so that people know how to connect with you if they want to have a chat, as you say, before the retreat.
No problem at all.
Perhaps even you know, come and see you at your studio in Buckinghamshire if they're local ladies. So
absolutely, come on over. And no, absolutely. And we're we're the same, Katie. We're here for the women, and and let's have this wonderful magical journey at Lakura. It's just, you know, I can't even explain. I won't, because I booked my retreat for next year already to teach again. I just left it like 2 weeks ago, and I rebooked it again and it's actually because of the clients or the women were asking, so can we go next year? So yeah, I
Yeah.
had no other choice than to
Perfect.
secure the place.
And it's funny because we've already got a waiting list for this retreat as well for next year. So yeah, there will definitely be more for ladies to choose from.
Exactly,
Come and
exactly.
try it this year as well.
Fabulous. Really,
Oh,
really good. So
thanks,
Kate, so
Tessa.
good to see you.
You too. And yeah, I can't wait to see in 3 months' time we will be there
But I'm
together
sure we'll be
doing
chatting
the
with
magic.
you.
Oh, absolutely, of course. It goes without saying.
All
Lovely.
right.
Thank you so much, Tessa.
Thank
And
you,
as I say,
Katie.
we'll
Bye, my
share
love.
all of
Bye.
our details. Bye. See you soon.
Bye.